friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we discuss manipulation and disinformation in the Russian media. Soloviev and his New World Map, how Russian television is turning war into a habit. If Russian propaganda once functioned as a loudspeaker of rage, today it increasingly resembles a commentator for whom war is a natural environment. Vladimir Solovyov's latest broadcasts are the best example of this transformation. He no longer simply defends the Kremlin's position. He is reassembling a worldview in which Russia is on the offensive, the West is in decline, and Trump is a mediator between reason and the madness of Europe. Behind the outward bravado and jokes about Tomahawks and turkeys lies a coherent ideological construct that deserves careful consideration. It reveals much about how Moscow is preparing for a long war, not only on the front lines, but also in people's minds. 1. The plot as a performance of power. It all begins with Solovyov talking about the new brotherhood between Trump and Zelensky. He's ironic. 2 conversations, patriots, Tomahawks, that's already happiness. But then he delivers the main point. Trump says, "We'll discuss it with Putin." And Medvedev replies, "Don't bother, just go ahead and fire the Tomahawks." Here lies the core of the entire message. The West speaks the language of power, and Russia will respond in kind and better. The humorous intonation, "Come on, don't bother," masks the normalization of the threat. Nuclear war ceases to be a nightmare, becoming a subject of wit. Soloviev thus transforms the apocalypse into a mundane scene. For the viewer, it sounds less like a threat than a confidence. Russia, he says, can raise the escalation level very high, and at the same time seems to shrug. Why would America need that? 2. Europe as a backdrop for ridicule. Next, Kaja Kallas, the head of the Estonian government and a symbol of European resolve, is introduced. Solovyov reads her words. "Time is now on Ukraine's side. Inflation in Russia is 20%. The economy is weakened," and literally mocks them. He demonstratively devalues European logic. "I don't know where they got their 20%. Our economy is growing." This technique works not for the sake of fact, but for the sake of emotion. It is meant to convince the viewer that Europe is living in an illusion, believing its own fictions, while Russia sees the real picture. The front is under control, the economy is holding up, sanctions are not working. In European discourse, such confidence seems absurd, but within the Russian media space, it is not propaganda, but a form of consolation. People are offered not a forecast, but psychotherapy. We are not losing, we are simply not understood. 3. The front as a managed victory. The next part of the broadcast turns into a chronicle of the Russian offensive, in which Solovyov announces that Pokrovsk has been taken, Kupiansk has almost fallen, the pace is increasing, the cauldrons are collapsing. All of this is delivered with ease, as if he were talking about a sports broadcast. His rhetoric is typical of the late stages of war television. War is not a tragedy, but the management of success. Everything is under control. The enemy is stupid and demoralized. Arestovich is an idiot turkey. Russia is strategically calculating. Its army is exceeding its plan. Thus, a pseudo-reality without casualties is created, where numbers and place names replace human lives. This isn't just propaganda. It's a narrative that transforms war into a backdrop for normal life. We don't know everything, of course, but some of the details Trump is sharing are very interesting. First of all, we're seeing this unexpected brouhaha between Trump and Zelensky. They've already said it twice. They're already talking about patriots again. They're already talking about Tomahawks again. They're supposedly going to meet. They already feel like everything's fine. It's pure happiness. Meanwhile, Trump is saying something so interesting like, well, now we'll talk to Putin and then Tomahawks. Why bother? Just send them right away. Dmitry Anatolievich Medvedev responded to this saying, "No need to bother, let's just tomahawk them right away." Well, because if you need to say it twice, if you're going to mention Comrade Stalin, then mention Comrade Stalin. In general, I would highly recommend this feeling that you can talk to Russia through your teeth, from a position of strength to Donald F. Trump, Junior, Major, King of the Void. That's what he thinks of himself. True, he is not sure that he has a place for America as a mirror and an excuse. In Solovyov's monologues, Trump becomes almost an ally. According to the presenter, he thinks rationally, seeks peace, respects Putin, but is bound by the democratic lobby. This creates the image not of an antagonist, but of a competitor, someone who also sees the game. When Solovyov recounts how Trump allegedly sent a mediator to Putin and everything would have been over long ago if he were in power, it's not just a joke, it's an ideological gesture, an admission that peace is only possible under authoritarian, strong leaders who understand each other without intermediaries. This is the key to understanding the entire narrative. Russia is not opposing the United States, but liberal democracy as a system. According to its logic, a strong Trump is better than a weak Biden, and a decisive Russia is better than sluggish Europe. Thus, propaganda not only justifies war, but also discredits the very idea of a liberal order. This was the program Empire of Lies. See you soon.